Hi, welcome to another SEO Hangout with Josh Bachynski. That would be myself. It is week 3 of SEOMAS, the mystical event that happens every year, which coincides with all the other religious events. This week I have some very interesting leaks. Again, I didn't quite finish the Pierre Farr and John Mueller leaks that were going on from last week. So I'll get right to that. And they did mention some very other interesting stuff. So I'll get to that right away. And of course, being SEOMAS, what would SEOMAS be without free gifts? So I'll also be providing some free gifts for yourself. Okay, so watch out for those free SEOMAS gifts at the end of the broadcast. Okay, so getting right to it. So as I said, on November 18th, John Mueller and Pierre Farr, Google employees, did reviews of sites, and they were quite open with a lot of how the algorithms work. It was very interesting. I suggest you go watch it if you have a chance, or you can just watch my video because I'm going to consolidate all the good stuff for you. So they said a couple of other things. One, they said, and this was point blank, this was no equivocation about it, point blank they said, unfortunately, small sites cannot, and in their estimation, should not compete with big brands. Or to be more precise, small brands, and I quote, cannot compete with brands by doing the same info, end quote. So referring to products, I would imagine. So what does that mean? Well, that means you have to be different. You can't provide the same kind of e-commerce information that Amazon does or eBay does, if that's who you're competing with, and expect to outrank them because they have, if you're providing the same kind of stuff, they have more links and they have more internal pages. So you might be able to get on the page with them, but it's going to be difficult for you to outrank them. So then what do you do? The question is, well, it means you have to be different. You cannot compete with them by doing the same information. You have to provide different information. Usually that means reviews reviews. But there's other options you can take, and I thought of 3. One, you can take the scam angle. A lot of affiliates already know this trick and use this trick. And Google seems to like ranking scam or different information for stuff or any kind of problematic information. They seem to like to rank that. So you can go, if I'm trying to sell red apples, for example, I could go for red apple scam dash. Click here. Don't buy red apples before you read this. That kind of a thing, and that might get people clicking away. That might get people clicking away from Amazon or whoever you're competing with, Walmart, or whatever it is the big brand you're competing with. And Amazon, Walmart, please do not sue me. And but you're evil. And yeah, and that'll get the money coming back to small mom pops. Number 2 is you can have a different style of review or a different perspective of review. Like think of the movie review site Rotten Tomatoes, for example. That's kind of how they made their claim to fame, is that they had a different kind of style of a review or different perspective for their review. And they kind of gave a different kind of review that the other people were giving, and or they tailored it for a different target audience that other people were giving. So make it relevant for a different target audience, for a smaller niche, and be kitschy in this regard. I don't know if you guys know the word kitschy. Find your niche, kind of find your people, and kind of try and talk to them, right? Oh, look. I've got, like, lasers on my face. Hold on a second. The cursed Daystar was shooting me in the face, and you're all about to realize that I am a vampire. So I had to turn off the sun. Sorry. Okay, so next thing, finally 3. If you can't beat them, then join them. So if you're having trouble competing with the large brands, then use the large brands, right? If you're having trouble competing with Amazon or eBay, go on Amazon or eBay. There's ways to do SEO for those kinds of search engines as well. If you're having trouble competing with the large brands, then make a Facebook page. Use large brands. Use landing pages on large brands, high PR websites, and get your landing page on there. Newswire is a good idea. Forbes.com, apply to write for that. Huffington Post, you can apply to write to that. And get the large brands on there, and that way you can leverage some of their brand power and get a landing page and drive people to your site. Even if on the landing page you can't get a do follow link, even if it's a no follow link, some people still argue it helps. And if people are clicking through, if you've got a good landing page, sales page, and people are reading it and they're clicking through, then that works perfectly fine as well. So those are some ways you can compete with large brands, but Google said point blank, small sites can't. They finally admitted it. So maybe some bad news, but hopefully some good ways you can handle it. Okay, the next thing. Webmaster Tools link cleanup tip. Here's a great tip. When I'm doing link cleanup for customers who come to me who had link problems, almost virtually none of my customers have link problems. But once you come to me for link problems, I'm very good at cleaning that up. And John Mueller gave us an extra little tip to help in that regard. I would use like Majestic, or I like to use Link Research Tools actually. Link Research Tools is made by Kemper.com. And I find it to be the best one, and it's a little bit more expensive, I admit, but I find it to be the best one. And it has all the different link sources from all the different kinds of SEOMAS and those kinds of Majestic, and it imports them all. And then I use that, and then I also, in Link Research Tools, you can also import the Webmaster Tools links. And John Mueller gave an interesting tip. If you want even more links from Webmaster Tools, you can use the download sample links. That's the one way to get links, but then you can also download the new links, and that's a different list, right? And so you can get upwards of like 30, 40, 50,000 links out of this thing. So it's pretty good. So I would download all that into your link research tool, whatever one you like to use. I like to use Link Research Tools. And then so you download all that and you get all the different link information, and that's how you can sort through all the links. Obviously, if you only have 40% of the links to sort through and you disavow even 100% of those, it might not be all the links you need to disavow. So more link data equals better. Okay. Next one. They also said this, and they said this point blank as well. They said, quite frankly, multi-topic sites are untrusted. For multi-topic sites, what is a multi-topic site? Well, if your site is a blog, per se, and let's say it has an article about plumbing, and it has an article about lawyers, and it has an article about buying vacation homes in Tuscany, and it has an article about this and this and that. They said multi-topic sites like this, no matter how legit you think they are, how legit they truly are, whether you're selling links or not, they are simply untrusted. They have a black mark against them in the quality algorithms already, and so you have to be very careful to make sure your usage metrics on these kinds of sites is immaculate. When people go there, they have to love the content and not be going back to Google and clicking other results, because that will definitely call the panda monster over. So again, you have to make sure that your user metrics for multi-topic sites are immaculate. And I'll be talking more about site trust and things like that in a little bit. Okay, and finally, Pierre Farr, who I do not like that much, because usually he offers nothing valuable for webmasters other than make the best site possible. And this does not really help at all, because it's so vague and it's such a subjective determination that it doesn't really help. However, he did mention something useful in this particular Hangout, and I was very happy about it. He mentioned that for mobile sites, and for desktop sites, you should use responsive design. Because for mobile sites, it has some ranking boosts, and and I quote, he said it has some, and I quote, second order wins, end quote. Second order wins. So that means that, what could that possibly mean? Well, I think it means that users will like it. Every single browser that goes to it, or responsive design, is going to be able to see it properly, because that's exactly what responsive design does, no matter what the size of the browser that goes to it. Cell phones, tablets, or desktop, or Macs, or whatever, iMacs. They're all going to be able to see it correctly, is all going to be designed correctly when you use responsive design. Because the responsive design responds to the design, responds to the browser that's looking at it. But not only that, but they may actually have an algorithm to boost up responsive design, because it's the new cool thing and it's the best thing for the user experience in theory. And so he said it has some second order wins, and they really stressed you want to use it. So who knows, they may even have an algorithm that gives you a slight boost for it. And of course, if you have like m.redapples.com and redapples.com, and you haven't done the mobile design thing correctly, you might have duplicate content issues and make Google try and decide which one should be ranking and for what. So that's probably why he says it has second order wins, and so I'm just reporting what he said. But quote unquote, he said it had second order wins, And that was a very interesting leak, I thought, from Mr. Feynman. Okay, so last but not least, speaking of smartphone design, he also mentioned not to block CSS or JavaScript for smartphones. Apparently, they give some kind of strong demotion for this. So do not block CSS or JS for smartphones. For those of you who are doing it, they do not like it because they want to be able to tell how it renders. And that might apply to desktops, but they did not say that. They're only talking about smartphones. So yeah, if I ever hear about it being bad for desktops, I'll let you know. Okay, so that was enough of John Mueller and Pierre Farr's site reviews. Next, Matt Cutts, he made a video about the Disavow tool. And I just want to mention what he says, kind of translate what he talks about. So, because there's a lot of confusion about the Disavow tool and there's a lot of doubt as to whether it works. So he talked about it. So the Disavow file, he mentioned you can do it anytime. I'm assuming you all know what the Disavow file is. It's if you don't, where have you been? Or you're just getting into SEO. So that's fine. Welcome to SEO. We have to do this crazy thing called building links that we don't admit we do. And then Google catches us, and then we have to disavow the links and pretend that someone was doing negative SEO against our site or making bad links to us maliciously. That's the kind of bullcrap we have to do. Welcome to the industry. So the disavow file is how you do that. It's a mechanism Webmaster Tools. You just upload a file. And you can do it anytime, Mr. Cutts says. And he implied strongly that it works like robots.txt. And that means that the file works per site. It's not some kind of only some kind of giant machine learning thing where only if 80% of the people disavow a site will they actually disavow those sites. They'll mass no follow the sites out of it. So there was some confusion, or there was some curiosity, some suspicion, if you will, that the disavow file didn't work at all. And it only worked on a giant kind of machine learning algorithm where people were self-reporting their links. I've mentioned this many times before. And so I asked John Mueller recently as well in his Hangout that was just a couple days ago. And he mentioned that, no, this is not the case. But Matt Cutts also talked about it. And so they both confirmed that the disavow file works like a robots.txt. That means it works like a file that just works for that site. And they actually read it, and the algorithms are supposed to actually take it into consideration. So this would be a lovely bit of information if it was true. And we have every reason to believe that it is, even though lots of people haven't had much success with it. But there's a reason for that, and they've mentioned it, and I've mentioned it, and I'll mention it again in just a couple seconds. The thing you have to remember about the disavow file, though, is that it doesn't care, and Google doesn't care. They don't give a rat's butt if you made the links or someone else made the links, or if the links were naturally donated or what. If it looks like it is a spammy link, if it's using a search phrase for an anchor text, or it's coming from a site which has a bunch of links like that, and or has multi-topics, and or it looks like it's selling links, then those are the kind of links they're going to find for either Penguin or paid links, those kinds of things. And you have to disavow them anyway. And the thing about it, so this includes, my point here, is that this includes those sites, what Matt Cutts called weird bots, quote unquote, weird bots. And so like these kind of scraper sites or these search SEO sites that will sometimes scrape you and then make a bunch of backlinks to you. This includes them. And unfortunately, you have to disavow those kind of links once you're caught. I would not disavow any links until you're caught with something, because you're just guessing what links they might catch or they might not and shooting yourself in the foot. And I have seen people do that. And the other thing about disavowing is that, so you have to include these search sites and these scraper sites and negative SEO, whether you made the links or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you think it's donated, whether you think it should be a good link, it does not matter. If it looks even remotely suspicious after they've caught you with one of these things, you have to disavow it or preferably delete it. And for the manual action, you have to delete some and disavow others. For Penguin, John Mueller recently leaked that you don't have to delete any. Disavowing should work, but you have to do what I'm about to say. You have to disavow aggressively. You have to disavow like anything that looks remotely spammy. So if 90% of your link profile looks spammy, you have to delete, you have to disavow and or delete like 90 to 95% of your links. And it's supposed to work. It's worked for a couple of my customers. Of course, they've also deleted links as well, or lost links. So it's hard to tell. Was it the deletion that did it? Or was it the disavowing that did it? Or was it both that did it? You definitely have to do both for manual action. That is well documented, and we've done this a bunch of times. For Penguin, sometimes it can be harder. But for Penguin, the people who I've helped get out of it, they also deleted links as well. They were in a position where they could, and disavowed links. And they disavowed very aggressively. So that's what you need to do. At the very least, you have to disavow very aggressively, like 80 or 90% of the links. And at that point, you might ask, well, is it safer to start up another site at that point? It just might be. You can get a new site ranking sometimes within 3 months, sometimes 6, in really competitive niches, 9 months. That might take less time for them to rerun Penguin because they only run it periodically, every year. And if they stay to the schedule that they were on currently, the next time they're going to run it will be something like May 2014. So keep that in mind. It might be easier to make a new site, and hey, you might be able to get a better EMD. Better domain, you might be able to get a better design on it, and who knows, the new site might be able to rank better because it shakes off some of the old problems you might have had. Okay, next thing, search engine land. I don't always report leaks from search engine land, but they had an interesting leak that they found out that Zagat reviews are stronger than local proximity. That's right. This is about a month ago now, but I think it's still in effect. That Zagat, Google bought Zagat, and Zagat reviews are apparently a stronger signal in their local algorithm currently than proximity. That means that if you are in suburb of the town and you typed in Chinese food, and something in like another town that's like within a certain number of miles, but clearly nowhere near you, like still pretty far away, if they have a bunch of good Zagat reviews, they'll show you that site, that restaurant instead of the ones that are within a couple blocks of you, because apparently they think it's more important to have a good review than to be close to you. So that's from Search Engine Land. I can't personally confirm it, but I've definitely heard a lot of people complaining about it, so it's probably true. And they've been doing a lot of local little tweaks, and Hummingbird has been doing a lot of local little tweaks too, so it's likely true. So get your Zagat reviews, get your Google Plus reviews. Make sure you get Google Plus reviews from local aged accounts. If you need to, you can hire kids out of college or kids in any web design course. And you can probably get them to do it for free. Just tell them you give them a really good letter of reference, or all those kinds of things. Do not go and buy the Google reviews from Fiverr or whatever. Or if you do, you have to make sure that they are from IP addresses in the area that are aged local Google accounts in the area. I also know one SEO guy who actually drives around Vancouver and does this for clients. And whenever his cell phone or his tablet or whatever gets into another IP address because he's driving around the town, he'll log in with a different account and make another review. That'll work too if you want to do that. That's the really DIY way to do it. But don't get people from the Philippines or wherever doing it with their IP address. It's got to be a local IP address because Google will check. For Zagat, I'm not sure. Zagat, you might be able to get away with it, but for Google Plus, the rumor out there is that that's the level you need to go to. And I have it on pretty good authority from guys who do a lot of local SEO to that degree. Okay, here is another little bit of a leak, a little bit of information for you. For those affiliates out there, again, I've mentioned this before, but it came up again. Affiliate links are considered a signal for low quality. This is pretty point blank mentioned by John Mueller. So you have to hide all your affiliate links. Again, on the mobile site, they just said not to block the JS, so don't block JS on the mobile site. But on the desktop site, until I hear otherwise or you hear otherwise, you might want to make it a JS link and block the JS so they can't read it. Or make it a link to an interim page and then do like a forward from there, some kind of meta forward from there or something like that, so that it gets obscure that it's not an affiliate link. You also, or you might want to no-follow affiliate links. Of course, this is bad news for affiliate programs who want all that free link juice coming to them. If your affiliate program, the way to collect that is to tell your affiliates not to no-follow what I just told them. They can hide the link Or what they can do is they can link to you naturally, but you have to have a better system of collecting that link juice. So instead of going to a URL parameter, you have to make each affiliate go to / whatever directory / some dummy file name.html. And then rel canonical would be preferable. Or you can 301 the link juice to some page. Or just serve that page as a rel canonical duplicate of the index page. And Google will collect and save the link juice. Then you can save all your affiliate link juice at that point. Little tip, little trick. I worked for I had a very large affiliate program client, and this is what I suggested they do. They are making bazillions. Okay, so now we're moving on to, now we're in December 2nd. John Mueller made some major leaks. Okay, so that's my video for week 3 of SEOMAS. And as promised, there's a gift. So this week, I thought I would give away on week 3 of SEOMAS. Josh would give to you. I thought I would give away a free title tag check for your site. So I'll check the index page or whatever your main ranking page is, and I'll check your title tag because it's still important. It's still extremely important for click-through rate. It's still a major thing in SEO, and I'll see most of my clients have it wrong. I see a lot of people have it wrong. So yes, for this week, I will, for week 3 of SEOMAS, I will check your title tag for you for free as an SEOMAS gift. I'll give you my 2 cents, my opinion on if it's a good title tag, bad title tag, and what you're going for. So email me your URL and what you're trying to rank for, although it should be pretty obvious by your title tag. And I'll let you know how things are going there. So there you go. Happy SEOMAS, and I hope you enjoyed this shorter video so you have more time for Christmas shopping or SEOMAS shopping or Hanukkah shopping or Festivus or Kwanzaa or whatever it is you practice. And shoot me an email if you have any SEO questions at all. My email is joshbachynski@gmail.com. You can follow me at Twitter at joshbachynski. And you can watch more SEO leak videos and SEO experiment videos like this on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/jbachyns. That's JBACHYNS. So good luck in the SERPs, and we'll see you next week for week 4 of SEOMAS. See you then.